Okay, in this video I'm gonna show you how to sell grooming packages. So the first thing is to sell the VCC, because with the VCC you sell the grooming package with a 10% off. Okay, so you first convince people to buy the VCC. It's gotta make sense to them. So people coming in more than 6 times, because the VCC is $38.99. So $38.99. And then the discount that they get, let's say it's for a small dog, it's 10%. So they save $4.80 every time they come in. So in order for that to make sense, you gotta divide $38.99 times 480, and that's gonna give you how many times they have to come in order for the VCC to make sense to them and for them to start saving. So if they're gonna buy a grooming package, like on Monday or Thursday, it always makes sense, even if they come in like 4 or 5 times a year, if they don't come in there often. But then for anybody else coming in, let's say on any day, they gotta come in at least 8 times a year in order for the VCC to make sense. But then the one thing is that once they buy the VCC, you sell the grooming package. The VCC is to sell grooming packages, or boarding package, or daycare packages, or long stays for boarding, whatever it is. You sell the VCC. So let me give you an example of how to pitch the sales, how the sales pitch goes, because how does it make sense to them? How do you can convince somebody to come in? Let's say example on a Monday. First of all, if they get the VCC, well, you can see that if they buy a grooming package without the VCC, it's $48. And the toothbrush is $54. So they would pay 4 groomings on that price plus tax. So $58.46 times 4. That's how much they would pay for a grooming package, where they pay 4 and they get the 5th one for free. So we're giving 1 for free. If they have the VCC, keep in mind that number, $332.82, because I'm gonna tell you how much you can save. For example, they buy the VCC. This price goes down to $44. This one goes down to $45.50, and then they get an additional 10% off. So 10% off. So right there, buying a first grooming package, the price drops down from $233 to $192, and the difference of that is the cost of the VCC. So basically the VCC is for free, and they're getting, not only they're getting the 5th grooming for free, they're getting 10% off on all the other groomings. But if they come in on a Monday, they get an additional 10% off. So they're actually getting 20% off. So they're saving $62 on the first grooming package. $62. So if they come in 10 times a year, on the next one, they're gonna be saving $62, 1 grooming free. So this one is actually plus the 54. On the first grooming package that they buy on a Monday with the VCC, they're saving $116. First grooming package. So how do you convince them? It's like, this is how much you're gonna save. Your package is gonna be $171 of a total value of $233. This one is $33. If you add the 5th grooming, it's actually the package is actually $287, and they're gonna pay $171. So they having a total savings of let me see, about $116. $116. That's how much they're saving. So you pitch the grooming package, and then you sell. Just put it on a credit card. Don't pay it right now. Pay your credit card. Like put it on pay the $171 right now. If you get 20% off, you get one grooming for free, and then you get 20% off on 4 groomings because they're buying 4 and getting the 5th one for free. So 20% off on the first one. They're gonna save another 20, another 20, another 20 in 4 groomings. So they're getting 80% off in all the package. So that basically they're getting almost 2 groomings, 2 full groomings for free if they buy the VCC and they come in on a Monday. If they come in on a Wednesday in their military, they get 15% off, an additional 10% with the VCC. They keep the old price, and instead of paying $287, they're paying $160. How much they're getting for free? They're getting 2 groomings for free when they pay 4. How does that work? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, you're paying for 4, but you're paying for 4 at 25% discount. So you get a 25% on the first one. You add the 25% for the first one. That gives you 50% off on 1 grooming, 75 1 full grooming with the 25% off of the BCC and the military discount. And they're getting the 5th one for free. So they're basically paying for 3 groomings and they're getting 2 for free. That's how you sell the BCC. That's how you sell grooming packages. People coming in on Thursday, they get up to 55% off. Like just sell them on Thursdays or Wednesdays when you have the 2.5, the price for the 2.5. On Tuesdays, we don't give discounts on bath and brushes. Tuesdays is big dogs for $30. You get the VCC, they get it for $27. If they come in 8 times a year for bath and brushes, it makes more than, it makes total sense. Because they're going to get the money back and they're going to be saving more. And they can buy grooming packages for bath and brushes as well. On Tuesdays, when we have the discount. That's all you need to know. Figure out your sales pitch. If I sit down at the reception, I can sell a grooming package like that. Or a VCC. Because it makes sense. And why am I willing to give out so much discount? It's because look at, for example, on Sunday, we had sales for $595. But see, if you would have sold 2 grooming packages, let's say this one with the old price, let me see, 48, for example, this one, 233, you give them the old price, 44, 550, they get 10% off on the grooming package, and they pay, they get a grooming and a half for free. They pay $192. If you sell me 2 grooming packages of $192, you make $1,000 on that day. That's all I need. I need to be making $1,000 a day no matter what, minimum. So your sales have to be a week. The days that you make $1,000, you should be making $1,500. The days that you're making $1,500, you should be making $2,000. And that's it. You guys want to raise? You guys want bonuses? You guys want that? The money has to come from somewhere. Okay? And then that justify selling the VCC, selling the grooming packages, doing the post. That what makes you grow. You're committing people to come back to us because they have, no matter what happens, they have a grooming package with us. Okay? And then, sell the grooming packages, sell the VCC, sell the grooming package. That's all you need to know. That's your sales pitch. And you need to know how much discount you're giving and how it works with the VCC and how it works with the discounts. Because once you have that information, which I'm teaching you here right now, you can sell it. You can tell people how much they're saving. When you tell people how much they're saving, it's a no-brainer. They're gonna buy the VCC and they're gonna buy the grooming package. But you gotta offer it. Remember that it's part of your commission to offer the grooming packages. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know.